Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to write a good outline. So, an outline is basically the bones of your paper. It's what you mean to put in the paper and in what order you plan on doing it. Now, for our purposes for the multi-genre research project, this doesn't necessarily have to be the order in which you're going to complete your writing sections. It is, however, a guide for you so that you know what it is you need to research and what it is you already know. Okay. So when you opened the outline the other day, the first thing you should have done is gone ahead and changed any place you saw the word topic to your specific topic. Now, for my example that I've been using in class, we've been talking about Greek mythology. So I went ahead and changed it to Greek mythology. So any place I see the word topic, that's what I'm going to do. So a basic outline has a title, and the title is usually whatever it is that your paper is about, or it could even be your paper title, usually with the word outline thrown in. Roman numerals, which is what this is, Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, those are the major component portions of your paper. Okay, so for us, first one would be our thesis sentence, but we already discussed how a multi-genre research project doesn't have a standard thesis that most research papers do. So what we're putting here instead is going to just be the topic that our paper is on. The second Roman numeral is usually the next major point that you're going to make, would be your first body paragraph. But again, for the multi-genre research project, it doesn't look like a standard research paper. So what I've done instead of making Roman numeral 2 through the end, your next body paragraphs, they're focused on each key writing piece. Okay, so for each subletter underneath a Roman numeral is another major topic. Any subletters or numbers underneath that are the major points that correspond to that topic. So for example, your key idea here that we're going to discuss in writing genre number 1 would be one of the key ideas that you said you wanted to discuss in your paper, and one that will show up in this first writing genre. So for example, let's say with my Greek mythology, my writing genre number 1, we talked about an anti-Mother's Day card. My key idea then would be Hercules, because he was one of the key ideas I gave in the example using Greek mythology as my topic. All right, so anything I put in one of the sub-number categories underneath Hercules has to go back to the topic of Hercules, just as my A underneath Roman numeral 2, Hercules, has to correspond with what's happening in writing genre number 1, anti-Mother's Day card, because it is a subtopic beneath it. Does that make sense? Everything is connected to the thing that's underneath it. Okay. So my next step would be 3 things I know about Hercules for when I'm dealing with the anti-Mother's Day card. So the first thing I might say that I know is that his stepmother, Hera, spent his whole life trying to kill him. Now, we might ask why. And we know, for those of us that studied the Hercules myth, and in one class we all did it, and in another class it was a choice. So some of us did Hercules and some of us didn't. So if we know this, then what we also know is that the reason Hera tried to kill him was because of the prophecy. So it was prophesized that he would be immortal and join the gods. Okay. So now I need one more thing, and a major thing that would affect Hercules writing his stepmother an anti-Mother's Day card as opposed to an actual Mother's Day card would be that Hera made Hercules insane, during which he killed his wife and sons. Now I'm going to add a 4 It's super easy on a pre-made outline to add more sections. So all I actually have to do is hit enter and a number 4 pops up. So for my number 4, what we also need to know, or what I would need to know in order to use this information to create an anti-Mother's Day card. Now notice every fact that I'm putting underneath Hercules ties back to the type of writing I have chosen to do with this key topic, okay? Is that forced to complete 12 labors in order to make up for the deaths of his family. And then we might add at the end that he committed suicide and joined the gods. So everything there has to go back to the genre that I have chosen. I can't just be throwing random facts in there. It's not going to do me any good. It's all connected. So if I want Hercules to be connected to writing an anti-Mother's Day card, then that means any facts that I put underneath Hercules also have to connect back to writing an anti-Mother's Day card. Okay? So for B, the writing genre I selected, it's an anti-Mother's Day card. Okay? So thing that I know first, well, first of all, it's going to be anti. So it should be the opposite of what would traditionally be found in a Mother's Day card. Okay, so basically, I'm going to have to take what I know about an anti-Mother's Day card from what I know about a Mother's Day card. All right, so I'm going to add usually has a sappy saying, quote, or poem. Traditionally talks, I'll go back and fix that, about how much the mother means to the child. Go back and make sure that traditionally is no, no, no. Well, it's telling me now that it's saying it's right. Traditional. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to add a fourth one, colorful, pretty font, sometimes extravagant. Okay. So I would continue this on. Now, you had 5 key ideas, and that doesn't mean that Hercules can only show up in here because I used him here. But I do want to focus on a different key idea with each writing genre. Remember that if you end up needing less than the 6 writing genre or 7, writing genres that I've got here, all you got to do is delete them back out. And if you need more, then you can always just add them in. It's kind of the bonus again of having an outline. I do strongly suggest though, if you're going to add them in, what you do is you go up to the nearest Roman numeral and hit enter there. Because what you'll notice about Microsoft Word or Google Doc, which is what it's modeled after, it's if you try to come down here and go back to Roman numerals, sometimes it gets complicated. So it's easier doing it before. If it's just example, if you want to do 3, it's easy to go down to the end, but if you want to go back up and add one in the middle, it's easier to actually just push one all the way, like I just showed you. All right. So this is your basics on how to do your outline. So the goal is to start looking at what you need to look up. So for example, if I hadn't been able to find 3 things at least I knew about Hercules that tied it back to the anti-Mother's Day card, I knew that I would have to go do some more research. Same thing with an anti-Mother's Day card. If I picture in my head already what an anti-Mother's Day card had in it, then I would need to go back and do some research on what would go on a Mother's Day card. And remember that anytime you're doing research about a topic, you need to make sure that you are copying the link of the sites and putting them in your works cited page. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer them.